The future of FEMA is essentially up in the air. President Donald Trump said that he wants the agency to be phased out after the 2025 hurricane season. He wants states to handle their own emergency management, with less money coming from the federal government at his discretion. WRAL's Eric Miller found that there, of course, has been plenty of criticism of FEMA in the wake of Helene, which devastated Western North Carolina. But there are a lot of implications to something like this to all of us here in the state. He joins us live now from the State Emergency Management Headquarters. Not everyone is on board, Eric, with the president's ideas about this.
No, Dan, not at all. And a lot of that comes down to the burden, the cost, and the uncertainty that would be put on state resources and employees like those working at the North Carolina Emergency Management Division. The comments came Tuesday. President Trump in the White House saying he wants to phase out FEMA after this hurricane season.
We want to wean off of FEMA, and we want to bring it down to the state level. A little bit like education, we're moving it back to the states.
Trump saying governors specifically should have more authority and responsibility when it comes to disaster response. The president adding that the aftermath of Hurricane Helene is part of the reason why.
You saw what happened in North Carolina under the past administration. And when we got in, we did a great job for North Carolina, brought it back. But it was a disaster, FEMA. And it has not worked out well.
The agency does still have a major footprint in North Carolina. A May release from FEMA pointed out it still has 785 staff in the state and is still covering 90% of the cost of debris removal. It's not clear what would happen to that money and those workers if the agency were phased out. Democrats have been quick to call the move disgraceful. In a statement, Congresswoman Deborah Ross wrote, his proposal to eliminate FEMA will be disastrous for the communities still rebuilding and the communities that will be affected by this hurricane season. Community leaders in Western North Carolina, though, have struck a softer tone.
I think it does have some promise. But I don't see us eliminating, something so much taxpayer money goes to respond to these disasters.
Canton Mayor Zeb Smathers has dealt extensively with FEMA as his town was devastated first with Tropical Storm Fred in 2021, then with Helene in 2024. He says the agency should be reformed and get funds to people and communities that need them faster.
But I think the people of this state and these United States will be served best when they have a state like North Carolina that has the resources and dedication like we do, but at the same time, it is met with a federal response that is quicker, provides resources to us, and respects the people it is dealing with on the ground.
Now, this isn't the first time that President Trump has talked about making some major changes to FEMA. You may remember literally his first visit to North Carolina after taking office back in January. He said he wanted the agency either eliminated or to have major reforms made. Now, just last week, Governor Josh Stein addressed some of those comments, saying that any cuts to FEMA would be a, quote, man-made disaster. In Raleigh, Eric Miller, WRAL News.